What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Hot Take. My name's Jesse Burrell. I am your host of Batch TV. This is where we dive deep into one real estate topic, and today's topic is infinite banking. Let's get into it. So what is infinite banking? We're going to talk about whole life policies and how you could use it to fund real estate deals and make money while you're making money. If you don't learn something, I don't know what you did wrong, but let's introduce our guest right now, Mr. Devin Burr. What is going on, my man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks so much for coming on. You've been blowing up on TikTok. You've really been inspiring and helping people on whole life and how you've done it and just killing it. So let's give the audience a quick bio of who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it for, and then we'll get into our hot take.
All right, yeah. So my name's Devin Burr. Got into real estate investing October of 2019. Did pretty well. Found actual infinite banking, and then how I could use that to become my own bank, and just took off from there. Started doing deals with it, and the rest was history.
Dope. So I'm really excited for this episode because it's just a great topic. There's a lot of big players that use this strategy, and a lot of people still don't know about it yet. All right, so for someone that's just watching whole life, infinite banking, I have no idea what that means. Let's break it down. Let's put it in layman's terms. Kind of break it down for me.
So basically, it's a structured policy to where you become the bank. You actually have access to your money while it grows, compounding interest, uninterrupted. So you put money in, it's going to grow at a guaranteed interest rate. Then you can take that money and go make money elsewhere at the same time. And the money you put in isn't affected. It keeps growing like you never touched it. So basically, it's a life insurance contract, and it's for the entire life that you live. So That's all it is. It's a policy for your entire life.
Okay. So now let's talk about in detail what it is and how you're using it.
So in detail, basically, it's structured to where it's got high early cash value. So you can put money in, and you have access to that money, the cash value of it, and you also get a death benefit. So the death benefit's secondary. The first benefit is your living benefits, being able to use your money while you're alive.
Gotcha. So basically, I know a little bit about this. I don't currently have one, but it teeter-totters depending on how much money you have in there. So your death benefit will be higher if you have more cash out. If you have more cash in, vice versa, correct?
Correct.
So what you're doing is you're basically using it to where you compound infinite interest. Let's get into that part of things now.
So I put money in knowing it's going to compound at guaranteed interest rate plus dividends for the rest of my life. It's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I take the money out and go buy real estate deals with it where I know I'm going to make a 40, 50, 60, 70% return on that money while it's compounding over here like I never touched it. So you're basically making money in multiple places at the exact same time with the same dollars.
Correct. So you're basically your bank.
Correct.
For funding real estate deals.
Correct.
So let's put this in terms for people to understand. You are your own hard money lender, and you're making money on the money as you're borrowing the money.
Correct.
So for people that have money that are doing fix and flipping or that are buying rentals and they have cash available, this is by far the best way to do it.
100%, because it's a different way of thinking. Most people think you put money in somewhere, you're going to make interest, but not if you take it out, right? Yeah. It's just a different way of thinking, but it's absolutely possible with these policies. You put the money in, it is guaranteed to grow. It is a contractual guarantee. And then you take it out, you go make money elsewhere while it still grows. Then you can put it back in, take it back out. You have full control of the money.
And it's also, you're still charging yourself interest too. So you're double dipping on both sides of it as well.
Right. And then you can write off that interest that you charge yourself.
Correct.
So it's amazing.
It's a lot of tax strategy. There's a lot of way to make savings. And if you have cash available, it's a great way to continue to grow your cash and your nest egg for your family and your generational wealth and all those type of things.
Yeah, because most people have some sort of savings account, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how much savings accounts pay in America? The average.
0.5%.
0.06.
So I was close.
So it's very, very low, right? If your money's just sitting in the bank, you're absolutely losing money. Because do you know how much inflation is?
I don't.
3% a year on average. Okay. So if inflation is going at 3%, but your money is only making you 0.06, you're losing a ton of money, right?
You're losing 2.5% of your savings and your value per year.
Right. So why not just take that money, put it into a guaranteed 4% growth that's going to beat inflation, and you get dividends, which over the last 20 years have averaged about 2%. So you're effectively getting about 6% on your money.
That's crazy.
Opposed to 0.06% on your money, while you can use it and go make money elsewhere at the same exact time.
Oh my God! Wow!
That's absolutely incredible. All right, Deb, let's break down a deal. So give me a real life example of how you did this and what the numbers looked like.
Yeah, so I've got a flip I'm working on right now that cost me, I think the price was $380, $390, somewhere in there. So I got a hard money loan for that because I didn't have enough in my policy to cover the whole thing.
Yep.
Hard money loan for that.
Yep.
And then I took out a policy loan to cover the renovation plus the payments I was going to have to make on hard money.
So how much did you take out?
It was about $75,000.
Okay.
So that's the amount I took out. Now, the only thing I actually pay on that money is the interest payments on the loan, because when you take money out of a policy, it's a policy loan.
Right.
You're not actually taking your money. That's why your money can continue to grow.
Right.
So you pay a simple interest loan of 5%.
Yeah.
On that money, over a 4-month period of doing the flip, I will pay about $1,200. So to flip a house, all I'm actually paying is $1,200. Everything else is just sitting in the policy. My money's actually gaining 6% interest.
Yep.
Plus, I'm paying myself back as another hard money lender 15% on my 75.
So you're technically $0 out of pocket because you're leveraging your hard money lender, you're leveraging your policy, and you're able to flip this home. And what are you going to make on the house? Projections.
Well, the only thing out of pocket technically is me paying back the interest.
Correct. $1,200, right?
$1,200, and I'm going to make on this deal about $120.
Hey, let's go.
So because I use this policy, my cash on cash return is 9,550%. Opposed to if I would have just done it the traditional way, get a hard money loan and then, renovate with my money and do the hard money loans with my payment or hard money payments with my money, it'd be $75,000 out of my pocket.
Right. So basically what you're doing, instead of just using your cash, right? You have cash in your policy and you're making 6% on your money instead of making nothing on it.
Right.
Basically.
And then I'm also creating a note from my policy and my company, my LLC.
Yeah.
So I'm paying myself 15% to borrow my own money.
That's crazy.
That I can write off.
Yep.
And then I'm also making a return once I exit the property. I'll make about 114, but I paid myself payments on the 75 I borrowed as well.
That's crazy. But that's like the type of stuff that I want the show to be about. This is a hot take on something a lot of people don't know about. And this isn't too good to be true. You have to have money to do this. But for people that are fix and flipping, people that are buying rentals, just having your cash in the counter, just having your cash stuck into a rental property, that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm talking to myself right now being like, why am I not doing this? So we will definitely have to talk.
Why aren't you doing this?
We'll talk after the episode. We'll definitely be talking a little bit further because it is something that makes sense. I do have a lot of rental properties. I do have dead money and some stuff. And I know you've been doing this. I just have a lot of strategies and I haven't had time to implement this one. But the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, okay, it's time to dive a little bit deeper and have you help me do this. So transitioning into that, let's say someone wanted to get a hold of you. What's the best way to get a hold of Devin Burr?
So, guys, the best way to get a hold of me is on either Instagram or my TikTok. It's Mr._Burr, and that's B with 4 R's. Go on there. There's a link in my bio, and you can actually schedule time with me. You can learn more about the infinite banking process and the concept, because there's only so much we can explain on here, right? It's not something that is widely talked about. It's very misunderstood. But once you understand it and understand how it works, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
So before we go, one last tip on what you would give on whole life and infinite banking.
Have an open mind. Have an open mind, because at the end of the day, most of us are taught to go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, put into a 401k. That's what we're all taught, right? But most people that do that are average. And anyone watching this show probably doesn't want to be average, right?
Facts.
You want to stand out. You want to do something that is amazing. You want to leave a legacy. And that is not going to happen if you follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing. So have an open mind, because this actual concept is used by all the extremely wealthy people of the world. We're talking about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, Tony Robbins. The list goes on and on. Ray Kroc, who founded McDonald's, he used whole life to actually start McDonald's. The banks that you put your money in own more whole life policies than anyone else in the entire world. Billions upon billions of dollars in whole life policies. And it's not because they're stupid. It's because they know something the rest of us don't know. So have an open mind and just learn how money actually works.
Bro, end it with some fire.
You
That
know
is
what I
a
mean?
hot take, baby. I appreciate you so much for coming on, my man.
Appreciate you, Doug.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of The Hot Take. Make sure smash that like button, and I hope you learned quite a bit about infinite banking. Make sure to reach out to Dev, and for everybody else, let's get it.